Well, good day to you. It is February the 3rd, and I hope wherever you are having a wonderful day. My name is Gary Willing. I want to welcome you to Search for Signs and also point out, like I do in every video, if you want to know more about Maitreya and the Masters of Wisdom, look into it, investigate it for yourself, educate yourself better about it if you already know this information. You can go online and you can go crazy trying to find all sorts of information about Maitreya, but the links that I provided in the description portion of these videos take you to websites that I think give you the best background information about Maitreya. So they're there for you if and whenever you want to look into it. You want to join the discussion, post comments, post your question in the comments section, email me at searchforsigns@mail.com. There have even been people who have been sharing posts on Facebook, and I really want to thank you for helping to get the word out about Maitreya and the Masters of Wisdom. Now, also, I always like to give a shout out to those people who joined the discussion, and since I put a video up a couple, 3 days ago, only 2 people commented. RawZ33 and Yethro 2023. Thank you for your comments. Now, I typically will try to address some comments that we can learn from. You know, I always try to answer questions that come my way. This video I want to do a little differently. And this is the first of its kind for this channel because I'm actually going to just read some quotes from Maitreya. There was a gentleman who listens to these videos and comments from time to time. His name is Luke Williams, and he said he always really likes it when I throw in some quotes from Maitreya, whether they're coming from what he said to me personally to some things that I've read in Benjamin Crem's books. And I'm reading these quotes from Maitreya's Teachings, The Laws of Life. It's a book that you can get on Amazon or you can get through Share International, but they're a compilation of some things that Maitreya has said over the years, and they were given to one of his associates in the Asian community of London, who then in turn gave it to Benjamin Creme, who published it in Share International magazine. So some of them read like, they're talking about Maitreya in the third person, so it's not like he's directly being quoted. It's like I said, it's kind of secondhand coming from his associate. And some of them read a little funny, but if you just kind of read into what Maitreya is trying to say, it might make some difference to you. Now, I'm going to start doing more of these videos like this because there's a lot to what Maitreya said that's already been published. But this associate gave some of the things that Maitreya said about what was going on during the 80s when these things were published to some of the predictions that Maitreya had for humanity, like the ending of the Cold War, the ending of apartheid, the release of Nelson Mandela, those kind of things. And if you were to put yourself 30 some odd years ago when these predictions were made, you would think that he was crazy to make these predictions, like the ending of the Cold War. I lived during those times, and if you did, you know what I'm saying. You would think that the Cold War was going to last forever. And he made the prediction that it was going to end, that the West and the East would come together to some degree, which is what happened in the 80s. So this last prediction that hasn't come true, you might think he's crazy for making this prediction. But he predicted in the 80s that the global economies would collapse. It would bring humanity to its knees and its senses. Because right now we're living separate, competitive lives. Some people are very good within the capitalist system, very rich. They become very rich and very powerful in that way. Others are being dominated in a way that has really never happened before. To the point where people are literally starving to death in a world of plenty. So by the collapse of the economies, Maitreya said, it will bring humanity to its senses. We'll start to see the need to work together. Maitreya's very, very simple solution for this is, he says, without sharing, there will be no justice. Without justice, there will be no peace. And of course, without peace, there will be no future. So if we do not accept the principle of sharing, we will never bring about justice, we will never bring about peace, and at some point, every single inhabitant, whether they're human or subhuman or whatever, will be dead on this planet. And Maitreya will paint a very clear picture of how that's going to look for us if we do not accept the principle of sharing. He's also going to present a very clear picture about what is in store for humanity if we do accept the principle of sharing. and how that will look. And as Benjamin Creme said, it's the promise of a revealed divinity. So it's not just a future of more of the same. It's a future quite extraordinary and quite far beyond where we're living today and how we're seeing each other today and those kind of things. So, you might, like I said, might be thinking that he's crazy for making that prediction about the economy. The economy's fine. Well, we've been teetering on the edge, of either going totally kaput and then it's kind of brought back and then it's totally kaput and kind of brought back. But he said eventually it's going to eventually collapse. So we got that to look forward to. But Maitreya says all will be well. All manner of things will be well. But it will be a shock for a lot of people because a lot of people don't even think that it's even coming. So anyway, now I wanted to kind of keep today in these videos, kind of keep them in the same kind of topic of spirituality and religion. And the reason why I want to do this is because a lot of people misinterpret their own scriptures, and they think that Maitreya is the Antichrist, and they think he's coming as a religious leader, and he's coming to fool and deceive millions, perhaps billions of people, and steal them away from the rightful Christ of Jesus and the demigod that they've created in Jesus and those kind of things, that Jesus will come back and all those kind of things. Maitreya is not coming back as a religious leader. He's coming as a spiritual, initially it's going to be an economic and political advisor, speaking to our world leaders about how to build the political and economic structures, social structures, healthcare structures that support that inner divinity and that inner oneness of humanity, based on the principle of sharing as the foundation in it. Now, eventually, once that's taken care of, Maitreya's got more to teach us than just that, and he'll be here for quite a bit of time. He'll actually be here for the next 2,500 years. He will be teaching humanity about the laws of life, what it means to be divine, how to live harmlessly within the law, and those kind of things. And I wanted to kind of share just a few of what Maitreya talks about in terms of isms, it talks about in terms of religion, it talks about his purpose here, and the warning that he gives to not follow and worship him and those kind of things. So I will try not to analyze after reading his quote, but I'll try to maybe set it up a little bit so you can kind of see why I'm reading this. But first thing I want to say is he goes, this is what he said about do not run after me. I have not come to found a new religion. Each of you should continue to develop within your own religious tradition. I have not come to create followers. Even when you see me, do not run after me. If you run after me, you will lose me. I have come to teach the art of self-realization. This is neither an ideology nor a religion, and benefits people of all religions and none. I belong to everyone. So, just a little tip from your big brother Maitreya. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is in terms of, this has to do with belief versus experience. But he says, experience me within you. I do not want you to believe in me. First experience me within you. When you experience me, then you become aware of my presence within you. It is not a matter of belief first. When I am with you, you have nothing to fear. When you are aware, you know I am with you and you are with me. Now, in terms of following one another, this is what he said. Be what you are. Do not follow one another. If you practice honesty of mind, sincerity of spirit, and detachment, you will know yourself. You will know me. You will know the Lord. To follow another means to copy, imitate, or identify with another, forgetting your real self. As an example, consider pop stars. Many fans try to dress and behave like them. This does not lead to happiness or fulfillment. The same thing can happen to disciples. The task of the master is to awaken the self within. When you in turn know yourself, you can awaken others. To awaken others does not mean to cast your shadow over him. When the self awakens, development follows naturally. The person fulfills his own destiny and enjoys the blessings of the Lord. The pace of development of each person can thus be respected. This is why Maitreya says, let the pagan believe in the stone, because without the Lord there is no stone. Correct relationship between the self and mind, spirit, and body is what matters. Now, the other thing, too, Maitreya said to look within. Now, he told me, this is just a little side note, he told me one time, he goes, peace always starts from within. And I've tried to, throughout my life since he said that, to keep that in mind, keep that close to when I'm stressed or those kind of things, and it has helped. But this is what he says too. Do not copy one another, be what you are, and the struggle will come to an end. Look within. It says, will you then copy one another or compare? When you look within, you become sacred, immune to chaos and confusion. And then I want to end it with something about individuality, okay? Because not so much on the people who comment on this channel, but watching the news when people talk about communism, especially those people on the far right, or socialism, they have this fear, this paranoia that socialism in and of itself will snuff out all manner of individuality that they have. Well, it really isn't true. Isms do, because and socialism and communism and even capitalism are isms. Maitreya says isms are like drugs. You forget who you really are, right? But even if you look politically, democratism, republicanism are isms. People believe in that ism. And when you have an ism, you have an authority. And when you have an authority, you usurp your identity to them. And so when these masters are out known for who they are, teaching humanity, we will see the truth of who and what they are and what they mean for humanity. That for them, the individual is sacred. It is true to say that none of these masters, Maitreya included, infringe upon anybody's free will, harm anyone for that very reason, because they see that we're all divine, that we're all sacred. But what does that really mean? Well, Maitreya over the coming time will teach humanity what it really means to be an individual, free. Peace is freedom. Free from fear, free from distrust, free from the fear of one another and those kind of things, and leaves you to truly, but also free from the authority that you see in other people, and you can truly just be you. Now, I like this one because I'm married, because he talks about marriage, because he says individuality is the soul. People will come to realize this. Individuality is sacred. The child respects his own individuality. People will experience for the first time, even in marriage, the sacredness of their individual entities. Marriage will become less disturbed. Individuality, the soul, will be respected in temple, church, and mosque. Nations will enact laws that will preserve individuality and will promote conditions to enshrine this sacredness. Rules and regulations will not be imposed as they are now. The individual will be important. He will act not out of compulsion, but out of a sense of duty and responsibility towards others, as if he were acting for his own self. And then lastly, I want to just leave us with this. Maitreya says, and I am going to analyze this last sentence. So I know I said I wasn't going to analyze it, but I'm going to analyze this last sentence. He says, do not try to worship me. If you worship me, you are trying to lower yourself. I do not want this. I want you to be equal. You are a spark of the Supreme Being. Do not think you are below me. And the reason why I want to analyze that last sentence is because from time to time, I've had religious folks comment saying that Maitreya will try to exalt himself above Jesus or exalt himself above God and those kind of things. In truth, Maitreya will not exalt himself above even the poorest, most uneducated members of humanity. That's who Maitreya is. I love you guys. Take care. Enjoy yourself. And we'll look forward to putting up another video in the very, very, very near future. You guys have a great day. remember to take action and help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos.